The outer forests of Ares IV were alive with the low hum of alien insects and the rustle of bioluminescent foliage. Here, the human settlement had carved a place among the wilderness, blending technology with nature in ways most Earth-born settlers never imagined. Among the many experiments in coexistence, one stood out: the wolf packs. Genetically modified for intelligence, loyalty, and strength, these wolves were not pets. They were partners, soldiers, and guardians. And now, a human was about to prove herself among them. Commander Alara Voss stepped onto the training grounds, her boots sinking slightly into the mossy earth. Her suit, lightweight yet protective, glimmered faintly under the alien sun. The cubs, barely a year old but already trained in obedience and reflexive combat drills, watched from the edges of the forest. Their fur shimmered in hues of silver and blue, a result of subtle genetic enhancements, their eyes wide with curiosity. Alara paused, inhaling the crisp, alien air. Her mission was clear: integrate with the wolf packs and demonstrate the human capacity for leadership, empathy, and synergy with alien life. She had trained for years on Earth in animal behavior, but nothing could prepare her for creatures that were stronger, faster, and more intelligent than any terrestrial predator. A low growl rippled through the shadows. The cubs' elders, massive wolves with glistening coats and keen instincts, emerged from the forest, forming a protective perimeter around the younger ones. Alara's heart raced, but she did not falter. She knelt slowly, arms outstretched, and whispered words she had learned in the wolves' behavioral code. For a tense moment, nothing happened. Then, one by one, the cubs leapt from the pack, their small bodies bounding toward her with astonishing speed and precision. They circled her, sniffing, nudging, and yipping, testing her reactions. Alara extended a hand, allowing one cub to step onto her knee. Its fur was softer than she expected, warm despite the alien environment. She felt a connection forming, a bridge between species that transcended instinct. The elders watched closely, analyzing her movements, her intentions. Trust had to be earned, not demanded. Alara began the training exercises, moving in synchrony with the cubs. She dodged imaginary attacks, sprinted through obstacle courses, and executed hand signals that communicated strategy and coordination. The cubs mirrored her movements, learning from her as much as she learned from them. Hours passed, and the bond deepened. Alara could feel their thought patterns, subtle and intuitive, as if the cubs were extending a form of telepathy. When she sprinted, they matched her stride. When she leaped, they followed her trajectory. It was more than training, it was communion. By the end of the day, the cubs no longer saw her as an outsider. They saw her as a pack member, a leader, and a guardian. But the real test came unexpectedly. A sudden quake shook the forest floor, dislodging rocks and sending alien wildlife scattering in panic. From the shadows, a rogue predator, larger than the wolves, armored in jagged exoskeleton plating and with claws capable of slicing steel, emerged, attracted by the commotion. The cubs yipped, circling protectively around Alara. Alara's mind raced. She could not fight this creature alone. She raised her voice in commands, using the behavioral code to direct the cubs. They responded instantly, splitting into flanking positions, their small but potent bodies agile and lethal. The rogue predator lunged, and the ground shook under its weight. The cubs dodged and weaved, nipping at exposed joints, drawing its attention away from her. Alara grabbed a plasma baton from her belt and engaged, striking at exposed segments of the predator's exoskeleton. She felt a surge of adrenaline as the battle raged. The cubs, coordinated beyond any human tactical unit, distracted, harried, and eventually incapacitated the rogue. It collapsed, injured but alive, enough to be removed from the area and rehabilitated if possible. When the dust settled, Alara knelt, catching her breath, as the cubs leapt onto her, tails wagging, eyes shining with admiration and trust. Even the elders approached, sniffing her, brushing against her arms in a gesture of approval. She had earned their respect, not through dominance, but through empathy, courage, and teamwork. News of her success spread quickly through the human settlement. Scientists and military officials marveled at the integration, noting that a human could not only survive in such an alien ecosystem but thrive as a member of the pack. Alara's techniques became the foundation for training programs that would span colonies, teaching humans and alien species to work together in harmony and defense. Weeks turned into months. Alara led the cubs through increasingly complex drills, honing their instincts, communication, and combat readiness. They became an inseparable unit, each learning from the other. The cubs grew, their strength increasing, but their bond with Alara remained unbroken. It was not without sacrifice. Alara endured minor injuries, sleepless nights, and the constant strain of adapting to alien behavior. But each hardship reinforced the lesson she had learned the day the cubs had first leapt to her. Leadership required vulnerability, trust, and the willingness to place oneself within the rhythm of others. By the end of the training cycle, the wolf packs were ready for deployment. Their coordination with human units became legendary, capable of reconnaissance, combat support, and protection in ways traditional technology could not replicate. Alara, once an outsider, became the symbolic bridge between species, a living testament to what humans could achieve when they respected, learned from, and integrated with alien life. Years later, new cadets would walk into the training grounds, nervous and uncertain. And the cubs, now fully grown wolves, would break from their packs, rushing to meet the humans with the same energy and trust Alara had first inspired. The story of the human who entered the training grounds and earned the hearts of the wolf cubs became a legend, an enduring lesson that strength lay not in dominance, but in empathy, cooperation, and courage. Alara would watch from the sidelines, a faint smile on her face, remembering the first day she knelt among the cubs, uncertain and overwhelmed. They had taught her as much as she had taught them, and together, they had forged a new path for humanity on Ares 4. In the end, it was not the technology, the armor, or the weapons that mattered. It was trust, the simple, profound connection between human and alien, leader and pack, survivor and kin. And as long as that bond endured, no challenge, no rogue predator, no alien threat could break the alliance they had formed. The cubs had leapt to her once, and they would continue to leap, generation after generation, carrying forward the lesson of the human who chose to join rather than dominate, to understand rather than conquer. In a galaxy full of danger, it was that choice, the choice to connect, to empathize, to lead with heart, that defined true strength.